I'm Coach Corey Wayne, and this is my video coaching newsletter. And the topic of this newsletter is going to be why you should act like her lover always. Well, when I was younger and I wasn't very successful with women, one of the things that I used to do that really screwed with my success is, obviously back then we didn't have social networks and stuff, because we're talking shit almost like 20 years ago. I can't believe I'm fucking talking about this. But the thing is that we had the cell phone basically, or regular phones back then. And so what I used to do is I'd get on the phone, I'd call a girl, and I would sit and talk for an hour, and I would just talk and talk and talk. And it's like I didn't know where to go with it. I didn't know what I was waiting for. It's just, to me, it seemed like, at least I believed at the time incorrectly, that you have to get to know somebody over the phone or through messaging, and then at some point in time you get together with them. But what I used to do was just talk and talk and talk, because I was always worried about the difference. It's like, when does it become friendship, and where does the relationship thing come in, and where's the conversation that makes the two interact with one another? And I didn't understand what was going on, and what I used to do is I would just completely talk women out of going out with me, out of dating me, out of liking me, out of sleeping with me. And there were numerous women that I had a chance with in the beginning, and once I started that crap of talking on the phone for hours at a time, and then I get around to asking them out, and then I'd hear, oh, I got to get back to you, I don't know what my schedule's like right now, I'm not looking for a relationship. I'd hear that kind of shit, and I would think, oh, I just got to stay committed and keep chasing them, and eventually they'll throw in the towel, or I'll get my shot, or they'll get to the point where they feel like they're ready to have a relationship, and they'll go out on a date with me. And I never got anywhere with that, and I didn't understand why. And I've got an email here from a guy who he knows this girl because he was best friends with her brother growing up, and she was like the little bratty little sister that always wanted to hang out, was kind of annoying when they were kids. Well, years later, for whatever reason, he's either reconnected with her or he looked her up on Facebook, and so he spent several months talking and chit-chatting back and forth, and he basically talks too long, and she gets bored and just stops responding in the conversation, and then a week or two will go by, and then he'll initiate contact again. They'll start talking, and the same thing will happen. She'll just, in the middle of the conversation, stop responding. And so he backed off, and then she initiated a conversation, but after talking for a while, it's the same thing. And so he's trying to figure out, what did I do wrong? Where did I go wrong? So he says, hi, Coach. I really enjoy watching your videos. They are fantastic. Great job. Well, thank you. I need a bit of advice. I'm going through a divorce, no kids, and have been on a few dates since my split. Recently, I started talking to a girl over Facebook that I have known for a long time. We kind of actually grew up together. Her brother and I were best friends as kids, so she was always the little sister that always hung around. One day a couple of months ago, I messaged her on Facebook to say hello, and we had a great conversation. She asked a lot of questions, and so did I. When women are asking questions, personal questions, like what have you been up to, what have you been doing, where are you from, blah, 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 that kind of stuff, it communicates that they're actually interested in you. And this is why when you're talking to a woman, you're going to be asking questions of her. I mean, if you like her, I would think you're fascinated by her. And if you're fascinated and intrigued by her, don't you want to know more? So you're going to ask questions. Ask the typical things. Where'd you grow up? Where'd you go to school at? What do you like to do for fun? Tell me a crazy story. What's the craziest thing you ever did? What do you want to know about a woman if you like her so much? When she tells you that she's a computer programmer and she's a smoking hot woman, you're like, computer programmer? Like, how the hell did you get in that? I mean, normally you think of that, you think of the geek with the big glasses that are held together with the Band-Aids or the Scotch tape because they sat on them. And those are great things that you can talk about. And so she mentioned that she was going through a rough patch with her boyfriend. We never officially ended the conversation with goodbye. We just stopped talking. And I would say she left the conversation because she got bored and you talked too long. Because the whole point of communicating with a woman is, it's great you haven't talked for a while, but after you chit-chat for a while, you should say something like, hey, we got to get together and catch up. When are you free to meet up for drinks the next week? And then wait for her to respond. And she'll say, oh, I'm available Tuesday, or I'm available Wednesday, or I'm not really sure, I'll have to get back to you. And you just say, great. When you figure out your schedule, get in touch with me. And then you just walk away, and you don't ever need to contact her or get in touch with her again. You wait to hear from her, because if there's interest, I mean, she did say she'll get back to you, right? So when a woman says those kinds of things, you have to let them do it. And if you chase, then you're going to communicate that you're needy because you can't wait for her to get back to you. Because at the end of the day, if she likes you, she will get back to you. And if she doesn't, she'll just simply blow you off. And you got to pay attention to those things, because that tells you exactly how she feels about you. Because you want to spend your time with women, going on dates and spending time and talking to women who actually reciprocate interest in you, who are actually, they're making an effort to make it work too. 6 days later, I messaged her again, and once again we had a great conversation, and once again, no goodbye. She just stopped talking. I say, you're talking too long, you're not getting to the point, and you're acting like a male girlfriend. You're not acting like a potential lover would act. A potential lover is going to be, hey, it's awesome, great to talk to you. What have you been up to all these years, blah, blah, blah. Oh my God, you remember when we used to hang out and I fell out of the treehouse, or where the fuck it was that you remember from when you were a kid? She's like, oh my God, that was so funny. Oh, you and my brother were so bad. You know, whatever it was that you talk about. And then at some point, after 10, 15 minutes, because she's feeling good, she's excited, she's reminiscing about childhood and her brother and you and how you guys all used to have fun together. She's feeling good, she's feeling fun, she's feeling familiarity because she already knows you. And you just say, oh, it's just great to talk to you. It's like, we got to get together and meet up for drinks. When are you free the next week? What nights do you have off over the next week so we can get together? ? Send that, wait for her to respond. When she responds, if she tells you the day she's free, and say, awesome, how about Thursday night? We made it Jack's Crab Shack or Jack's Bar or Bob's Bar or wherever the hell the name is, that you're a cool place to go where you can actually talk, not a loud place, but you can talk and hang out. It's got a good atmosphere. You can have some drinks and laugh, and you can hear each other's conversation and have a good time. And then after you have drinks for a couple hours and you have a great time, then go someplace where you can play pool or throw darts or something like that, because you're standing up and she can physically interact with you and touch you and be close to you. And by doing those and laughing and teasing and having a good time and getting her to talk, she's going to feel more and more comfortable as the evening goes on, and she'll start touching you and getting closer to you. And at some point you just say, I think you just need to, you put your arm around her, you look her in the eye, I said, I think you just need to get it over with and fucking kiss me right now. And you look at her lips and her eyes and you just go for it. Because if she's touching you, she's all over you, it's pretty obvious. If you're not sure, look at her lips and then into her eyes and then her lips and then back into her eyes again. And if at any point she looks at your lips too, it means that she's thinking about kissing you as well. And then you just have to state the obvious. I think you just need to kiss me. Or do the obvious, which is kiss her. You don't need to say nothing. You got to look for these things. You got to pay attention. But as you go to 2 or 3 places and you do that, as the evening goes on and she feels more comfortable with you, she's going to do more. She's going to touch you more, and that communicates that touching is appropriate and it's okay, and she's ready to be touched. So you reciprocate slowly. He says, as we were both logged on to Facebook all day at work, 3 weeks went by, but neither of us attempted a conversation, even though we could see each other online every day. Finally, after 3 weeks, she initiated a conversation with me. And I would say, see what happens when you hang back? You realize that you're chasing and she's making no effort, so you just backed off and walked away completely. And then she reached out to you. What does that tell me? That tells me that there's probably interest in the 50% range. So let's see what he did. Once again, it was a great talk. She said, be right back. But after a while, she never came back. And I would say you're doing what they show on TV and the movies all the time. Guy reconnects with an old girl. Oh, you broke up with your boyfriend. Oh, tell me about that. Oh, really? Oh. And talking about that. And then, oh, well, I just, in the process of going through a divorce. And it's so, like, there's nothing fun about that. I mean, think about the emotions involved in that conversation. It's shitty emotions. It's not a good feeling. And women are driven by their emotions. And so whatever you talk about, the idea is you want to make them feel good and think about fun things and having a good time and laughing, because that makes them feel comfortable. You're acting like the same guy that she used to hang out with and have a great time when she was a little girl. But when you get all serious, you're acting like her shrink, and that's going to get you nowhere except in friend zone and blue balls. He says, so I waited a week and messaged her asking her what she was doing for the long weekend. And she responded as usual, and we had an amazing talk, the best one yet. And I would say the reason she was into you this time around is because you waited those 3 weeks and you didn't do anything, and she had to pursue you. So her interest level had actually gone up. But what happened? You went right back to your old unsuccessful pattern of running the conversation too long, and you still never asked her to get together for drinks. When you do that, when women know that if you're contacting them, more than likely you're into them. And when you don't take the opportunity to make a date with them, then they start to think that you're weak and you just ain't got it. Because men are successful with them, they're not going to sit there and bullshit on the phone forever. They'll talk for 10 or 15 minutes if they haven't talked to somebody in a few years. But when the conversation's going great and they're both having a great time and laughing and having fun and reminiscing, that's when you say, hey, we got to get together for some drinks and catch up. This is great chatting with you again. When are you free to meet up? Question mark. Let her answer. Make a definite date. And if she won't make a definite date or she's unsure, just say, hey, give me a call when you figure it out. And don't contact her and wait for her to contact you. And if she doesn't, then you'll never talk again. If she liked you, she won't let you just walk away like that. That's the thing. Most guys are too scared to do that, and so they always chase. And since they always chase, they basically assume the woman's role. And since you never let her act like the woman, she's going to just treat you like another girl, basically, and treat you like a male girlfriend. He says, then on a Wednesday morning, I may have made a bad move. I sent her a Facebook poke, and she messaged me back saying, are we really playing the poking game? And I would say, that's her saying, really, dude? You're acting needy right now, and you're trying to force things to happen, and I'm not really comfortable, and if you keep doing it, I'm just going to not talk to you anymore for good. He says, we chatted for a bit, good conversation, then she just stopped responding. And I would say, I think you're overrating your conversation and how great it was. It may have been great for you, but obviously wasn't that great for her because she got bored and you didn't leave her wanting more. Like the old adage in show business is you always leave them wanting more. And the only reason you should be communicating with this girl on Facebook is to make a date. But instead, you're just chit-chatting and you're trying to start a relationship online. And you're getting nowhere with it. You're ignoring the fact that she blows you off. She blows you off because you're boring her. You're not getting to the point. It's not going anywhere. Girls just want to have fun. They want to get together and raise some hell and have a good time with a guy that sex just kind of happens because they're having so much fun together. It's just a natural progression of things. It's like you got to get out of the dating and I got to do this and I got to be there for emotionally. Fuck all that shit. Girls want to have a good time. Show them a good time. And especially this particular girl, if things aren't going well with her boyfriend. He says, it's been almost 2 weeks and I haven't had any response from her. I'm not planning on messaging her again. And he says, what do you think I should do, Coach? He says, she even told me that her boyfriend is an ass because he can't devote himself to her fully and that she misses the companionship. And when a girl says something like that, and she's reminiscing about shitty emotions about her boyfriend, you say, oh, don't worry about that, sweetheart. You know what? I think you need to get your ass over here to my place for a little bit of rebound sex. And I promise you, when you leave, you'll be feeling right as rain. And you send the little, the wink, the semicolon with the half part of a parenthesis, so it looks like a person smiling, but, blinking their eye at them. You send that, and you don't respond. You wait to see what she does with it, because it's like as a little boy, it's like you dare each other, and as the boy, since you're the man, it's like you take it a little bit further. And so you're having fun, and then when you throw something out there, like it's playful and it's funny, you may be joking, but maybe deep down you're serious, because there's always truth in jest. So he says, have I done anything wrong here? And I say, yeah, you chased constantly, you beat it around the bush, and you didn't back off enough to let her come to you. And the fact that you went 3 weeks out talking to her and she initiated contact tells me that there was some interest in there. So at this point, there's nothing you can do because she's bored with you, right? So just walk away. And next time, when and if she contacts you, simply say, oh, it's great chatting. We got to get together for some drinks and catch up. When are you free?